All right. This is Celebrity Josh, and I'm here with Steve Cody.
Hey, Josh. Hi.
Of Ruckify, hence his shirt. I'll just quickly tell you the story here. Last night I was sitting with my mom in the living room, and she just said, she looked at her phone, she's like, oh, an ad just came up for Ruckify. What's that? I'm like, I don't know. So I Google it. I'm like, oh, it looks like they're based in Ottawa. I'm going to email them. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm a celebrity interviewer. I'm in Ottawa. I could come interview you if you want. And then Jan emailed me, and he's like, well, let me give you a call. And I talked to him for 48 minutes. And he said, Steve's giving a talk at University of Ottawa tomorrow. Do you want to come by and you can interview him after? And I said, sure. And so I just watched your talk. It was great. All the students there were just being very effusive in their praise, saying the other talks were lame and yours weren't. And that what they're doing is, I guess you were presenting to the marketing class and giving them a marketing challenge, and then is that what the project is, or what were you doing?
Well, we're a sponsor, so we're the gold sponsor for Telfer, and at some point there, we're going to have a marketing. We can give them a marketing challenge to do on our behalf, but I think we get our logo gets on their shirts and everything. So really, for us, it's about engaging university students and just seeing what happens with Ruckify within that community. So we think there's a big opportunity. Number one, for students to Ruckify, so Ruckify their books or bikes or whatever they want to do. But it's also a great way for us to start transplanting our brand into other countries or other communities, right? Because a lot of people aren't just from Ottawa.
Right, so a lot of foreign students
exactly.
Go off and be ambassadors.
So if they get intimate with the brand when they go home, we've already had that. People going back to Australia, can't wait to talk about Ruckify. So anyways, we'll see how it works out.
Okay, and just in case you don't know, and you probably don't know, Ruckify is kind of like a website where you go to, and if you've got any items you want to, you got sitting around, you could rent them out. So it's kind of like like an Airbnb. You'd rent out your apartment. This you could rent out your microphone or your hoodie, I guess. I don't know. And it means the word Ruck means share in German. His daughter came up with that, so good for her. Yeah. And yeah, it's kind of a little play off, the Shopify, which is another big Ottawa company. So that's all very exciting. And so you've kind of done a soft launch, and it's going to start soon, or it's just in Ottawa for now, or?
Yeah, so we were a year and a half in development. We did our soft launch October 17th. And we don't really work with timelines. So really for us, it's more about whenever things are ready, we'll go to the next step. The idea with the brand is definitely to take it international. We think we have an opportunity here to do something really, really special. But we also know that we have to execute properly to make sure that happens. So so we're in Ottawa right now, probably going to Calgary next, and then Toronto after that.
That's where I'm from, so I can head up the Toronto office.
Yeah, perfect. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
So could I be like an early investor? Because they say if you had invested like $1 in Bitcoin 10 years ago, you'd have $1 billion now. So if I give you like $1 or $10 now, could I get like a little share of the company and then just retire in a couple of years?
Yeah, that would be good. So yeah.
Would be good. All right. Well, so much for that. And I was very inspired by, you talked to the kids for like 45 minutes there, but the kids.
I know, brutal.
I was sitting with all the university students, and I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, because I can't see my own face, so I feel like I fit in here. They're probably like, oh, who's this other student that goes? No, in my own head, I'm a student, but probably if I saw a mirror, I'd be like, ah. And I'm like, oh, look at those people. I could be their buddy, but no, I couldn't. So that depressed me. But I was inspired by your tale of all these businesses you've started and sold, and then this is another big one. Because I've been watching a lot of. I was watching Shark Tank on Netflix lately, and then I started watching The Dragon's Den from the beginning, so I'm watching the episodes from 10 years ago, and I've never started really a business. I'm more of a creative type. I like doing my little interviews, but I don't know anything about numbers or whatever.
It's kind of a business.
I guess this is a business, yeah. Well, haven't really made money from it yet, but I've been interviewing random people, and then I've just interviewed businesses I come across, and then I'm like, I wonder if I can charge for this. So I wound up interviewing a real estate agent recently. I said, because a friend of mine who's a real estate agent said, you should charge real estate agents because they have a budget. They need to market their place. So for $199, I interviewed a guy and made a funny video about an apartment he was selling or whatever. Yeah, so now
there you go. Good for you. Yeah, it works. You got something.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to invest early in me, for $1 million, you can own the company. Cool. And so I don't know. Do you have any advice for the audience? I don't know. Do you do interviews like this? Are you going around doing the rounds on radio or podcasts?
I've done interviews over the years, but it's not a regular thing for us. I mean, if it's really about entrepreneurship, I think there's two things that are really important. One is, too many people talk about doing something. You actually just need to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like a dream until you actually take action and do it. So that's really important. And I think the next thing is perseverance. I mean, life gets tough. Owning a business is tough, and you have to figure it out. And number 3, I guess, is never give up. There's always a way. Absolutely always a way.
Now, I see on the Shark Tank a lot, Kevin O'Leary is often, he'll see an idea and he'll go, that's bad. Stop it, take it out in the back and shoot it, burn it, stop wasting your life. So I guess at the same time, you got to know, I mean, you've been lucky. Your businesses have mostly been pretty successful, right? But I guess at some point you got to be like, if something's not working, cut your losses maybe?
I don't think so.
No? All right,
I mean, a couple of examples you can think of, think back to when Michael Dell, so Dell Computers, he came out with this crazy idea where he would sell computers over the internet when nobody used the internet.
No, the internet's the fad. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And look at Michael Dell. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I have my own rule of I never tell somebody they have a bad idea because you just don't know. It really comes down to the person.
Yeah.
Are you a person that's going to see things through, or do you give up easily? If you give up easily, I don't think it was necessarily the idea might have to be done differently.
Yeah.
It never ends up the way you initially plan it to be. You're doing real estate agents now.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing, movie stars.
Well, that's my goal.
Niche,
Well, I want to be, because I got a media pass for the film festival the past couple of years, and so I've interviewed all these celebrities, and I draw cartoons of them while I'm talking to them. And so my goal, because I've been thinking, what do I make my podcast about? I like entrepreneurship, I like minimalism, but I don't want to be the biggest entrepreneurship podcast. I want to be like, the celebrity interview. I want to be like Mark Maron, who has Jennifer Lawrence and Barack Obama in his garage. So I want them to come into my home studio. And so that's my dream. So then I figure, okay, I'm going to call my podcast Celebrity Josh, and I'm going to, have them. So that's kind of that's my dream.
Yeah.
I don't, who knows how you monetize that stuff, but I guess you never know, right? I think my advice to people, and Tim.
Well, that's your dream. So
Yeah.
How do you measure success? Success
Yeah.
is not always about money. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to think about, what do you want your end goal to be? Do you want to be the richest person interviewing, or do you want to be, and money will come. If you do a good job at what you do, money will come like that.
Yeah. I think I just got myself in a bit of rut because I bought this expensive condo in Toronto like 8 years ago, and then I left my job 3 years ago, and the place is costing me so much. I feel like
That's good. So now you've burnt your bridges. You gotta make it work. Exactly. What are you doing here?
Well, my mom invited me to Ottawa for Christmas, and then, but the past couple of days, she's like, what are you still doing here? Like, go back to Toronto and sell your condo or something. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to go interview Steve Cody. She's like, okay, you can stay for that, but then get out of here. So yeah, I got to leave soon, I guess, the city and seek my fortune. But I like Ottawa too. It's every time I'm here, I'm like, this is so cozy.
Yeah, it's a good city.
Makes me happy.
You got to hustle. That's good. You got a reason to hustle now. That's the best.
The fire.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, I got $30 the other day to edit somebody's podcast, so I'm in business. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll keep watching Ruckify, and I like that it's you plant trees for every transaction. I'm a big environmentalist. Anybody who follows me knows that I do eco-comedy. I've made little web series, Jan was telling me that Catherine McKenna, the Mr. The Environment, is a fan of the site, and I wrote a song about her a couple years ago and put it on YouTube. I wrote a love song for Elizabeth May as well, so that's another little niche. So
maybe you could be making money at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of money in eco stuff. I don't know what people, even I don't want to watch eco comedy. It's more like, because I try to do it because I used to hand out flyers to people who were idling their cars, and they would get out of their car and say, I'm going to kill you. So
you got their attention.
Yeah, I got their attention, and then I decided maybe there's a way to do this without getting beaten up. That's basically my life, looking for ways to do things without getting beaten up. How to ask out girls, how to make money, all these things. So I appreciate that you haven't beaten me up yet. So it's the January 1st, where are you going to be at the end of this year, or it's the 2nd? What is it today? The beginning of the year.
Yep.
You got New Year's resolutions, any plans, anything happening? Or you just keep going with Ruckify and see where it goes?
Just get up in the morning and enjoy what you do. I think if you do that, that's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Wise advice from a serial entrepreneur. Thank you, Steve. And maybe we could do a podcast, we could do a regular entrepreneurship podcast. You could be like the guru, and I could be like the guy who needs to learn. I could be your Padawan, and we'll have our own mini Dragon's Den.
Perfect.
And then and we'll get little people coming to you and say, oh, you know, I have this business where I make $5 a month, and you'll be like, yes, I'll invest a quarter. It could be like I like it, baby dragon's den. All right, see, I just came up with that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. Bye.